Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and I'm reading Justice League vs. Suicide Squad, issue number 6 of 6. This is the final one. Now, this is not the best one, but since all the other ones were so great, this one could be a little bit worse. Now, basically all this was, the entire series was pretty much just a setup for a couple of future events, and the fact that Batman will be leading a new Justice League of America team, which is going to come out February. Now, when push comes to shove, Eclipso basically takes over everybody, including the bulk of the Justice League and several of the Suicide Squad members, and he's trying to take over more, and eventually he's going to try and take over the world. But none of this actually comes to fruition because Batman is able to overcome, and it eventually comes down to him and Killer Frost and Lobo. And these three are able to turn the odds. Lobo takes on everybody. Yeah, everybody, and comes out none too shabby. It's funny that Batman is the only one who was able to take him out, but of course that was last issue. Anyway, so Lobo does all that good stuff and provides a distraction against everybody. Meanwhile, Batman and Killer Frost go off and make this prism. They're both scientists, and the prism works in the way that it will magnify any light that goes into it. So when Superman is tricked into firing his eye beams into it, there's an eruption where everybody's freed from Eclipso's power because there's just so much light. All the heat and everything is dissipated apparently and just becomes pure light. Well, Eclipso doesn't take too kindly to this and goes directly after Killer Frost. Now, he tries to pull out her innermost fear, but her innermost fear is that she's not always going to be able to do right, that she's not really necessarily going to be able to do enough. So she's not going to be corrupted by Eclipso, and this is an interesting turn of events. So everybody's able to overcome. The superheroes all gather together, and they go after and they beat Eclipso. Now, Lobo is pretty much tricked into joining the new Suicide Squad by Batman. Batman also goes directly to Amanda Waller and says, well, now Killer Frost is going to be free, and if she wants to join my team, she will, but it's up to her, and she's not going to be a part of your team anymore, and maybe our teams can both work together. This is kind of good, this is kind of not so good, because Amanda Waller wins big time over top of Batman, and it almost seems like Batman is so lagging behind on everything in this series, and I'm not the biggest fan of that because I am used to Batman always being ahead of everything, and now he's literally like the only one who apparently hasn't figured out that, yeah, he just got played completely by Waller. I mean, even Maxwell Lord, who's captured and pumped with the world's finest blood thinner, so if he uses his powers even in the slightest, he's going to bleed out and die. But the cool thing here is that Amanda Waller says, hey man, even though you figured all this stuff out, it doesn't actually matter because you're going to join my program. He says, I don't want to join your Suicide Squad. She says, oh no, you're not going to join Task Force X. You're going to form Task Force 11. Now, this is cute. It's kind of a play off of the whole Wolverine Weapon X thing. Oh, it wasn't actually an X that he was in. He was actually number 10. So when later on people came along, it was always different weapon programs. They were actually supposed to be numbers, not letters. He wasn't Weapon X. So I guess they're trying to indicate that not only was there the Task Force X version that was before the current one, but that was actually called Task Force 9, maybe 1 at the absolute worst, but she's had 9 others before the current one. So now Task Force 11 is going to be formed. So let's see where this goes. In the meantime, I'm going to give this a B+. It was very good. It just didn't live up to the hype of all of the other ones. I just really don't like the idea that Eclipso was just a mere passing plot point. He might as well have been Apocalypse in the latest X-Men movie that came out, the X-Men Apocalypse. Anyway, guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University, class dismissed.